nobody wants to be someone's emotional punch bag, do they? And if you're a people pleaser, then you've probably adopted that role for many, many years, but no more. Hi, my name's Catherine, and today we're talking about emotions. And yes, if you've been a people pleaser, the thing with people pleasers is we don't know how to set boundaries. Now, once you can learn to set boundaries, this is really important, then the way that people treat you changes. It can take a while because people are so used to being able just to rant and rage at you, and you'll just take it. But once you learn to set those boundaries and say, no, I am here for you, I will listen to you this evening at a later date or tomorrow, but at the moment I am busy and I cannot speak to you. So that gives that person time to calm down. Because actually you can really, especially you can become that person in the family who just soaks and absorbs everyone's emotions, and you just adopt that role without realizing what a negative effect that can have on you, because it can really drag you down. Now, in my family, we have quite a few autistic family members, and I have noticed something with my autistic family members, that when they are cross about something, when something has upset them, that they're in a situation, something's upset them, then they will rage. But they won't rage about what's upset them. They will rage about something completely different, like the filling that's in their sandwich, or the fact that their shoes hurt when they put their shoes on. Things that have never bothered them in the past. Now, historically, I used to get all panicky and worried and confused because I couldn't understand why they were getting so upset about their sandwich filler. But now, of course, I understand. It's not that they're upset about that. It's that they just are not able to express themselves. They don't have that ability to say, this has happened and this has really upset me, and can we talk about it? It's just not possible. So something upsets them, and rather than talk about it, they rage. Now, I have learnt that actually I need to just give those people some time to calm down. I won't react because, of course, there's no point in arguing to them about the sandwich filler, because the sandwich filler isn't the problem. I give them time to calm down. And once they've had time to calm down, then the real problem comes to the surface. Now, I'm not saying that you should accept being on the other end of someone's rant and rages. Absolutely not. And something that we learn as we are recovering people pleasers is that we do need to set strong boundaries down to say that this is acceptable or this isn't acceptable. And at first, learning to set boundaries can feel really scary, especially if you've never done it before. I am 51 And it's only at the age of 51 have I started to learn to set boundaries down. And initially you will get a kickback because people won't like it. They want you to be the same as you were before, just accepting their rants and their rages. But actually you're not going to, because that's not your job to regulate them. You see, again, as a people pleaser, we often feel that we are responsible for other people's emotions. And once you realise that actually, no, you are not. They are responsible for their emotions, not you. Things start to change, because we can so easily think that, oh, they're upset because of me, or something that I've done, especially also if you're in an abusive relationship. You can be made to feel responsible, but the only person who is responsible for their bad mood is them. Because let's face it, you don't rant and rage at people because something has upset you, do you? So why should you accept that behaviour from someone else? Now, in a lot of my videos, I talk about our conscious mind. And the reason I talk about this so much is because it's actually been life-changing for me to understand so much about emotion. Because when we are in our subconscious mind, we react to everything. Yeah, so, oh, someone says, I don't know, so I don't like your hair. What do you mean you don't like my hair? How can you not like my hair? I did this or I did that. Yeah, that's reacting from your subconscious mind. Any sort of emotional reaction. But when you learn to react from the conscious part of your mind, peace comes into your life. You understand that you are in control of your emotions, and to a certain extent you can choose how you want to feel. Well, you can, because we can choose to hang on to things. In another video I talked about victimhood and how we can choose to remain in a victim mentality. That's our choice. We can choose to have that history, that past, attach itself to us and that become part of our identity. Or we can choose not to. And it's not to say to minimize what has happened, traumatic experiences that have happened in the past. We can recognize that those experiences were unfair, that those experiences were traumatic. But we can choose to leave them in the past and not carry them forward. That can just be our choice. We can choose whether to hang on to sadness. You might say to me, but what if you're grieving? Yes, of course, grief is natural. When someone dies, it is an awful thing, and we must go through that grieving process. We must feel that loss and we must feel that sadness. But when we've gone through that process, we can choose to move on. Because some people are left in their victimhood. They don't want to move away from that. They want to stay there because it's almost become a comfortable place for them. That has almost become a comfort. And actually, when you can recognize that in people, it can sort of, because you can spend a lot of time trying to help someone, but what's the saying? You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It can be really frustrating when you're trying to help someone and they don't want to help themselves, because actually they've chosen to stay there. We can choose how we react to people. We can make that choice. So for example, on some of my videos, I've had people comment negatively or say things that might try and rile me up. Now, because I'm thinking in my conscious mind, I am able to see those comments purely for what they are. That's just someone who, for whatever reason, is not particularly happy with their life because they don't know me. I'm just a person on their phone that they're watching who's trying to help people. Yeah, I haven't offended them, but there's something about me that triggers an emotional reaction in them. Now, maybe it's something where they feel they would like to be doing YouTube, but they don't have the confidence. So their anger at that is transferred onto me in my comments. Okay? And once you can recognize that, you completely can detach emotionally. You don't feel, I never feel upset. Nothing gets to me. I never feel offended or attacked because I see the situation for what it is. And I always give them a nice reply. And actually, you can use this in your day-to-day life. If you have someone at work, a boss, who is being nasty, who is being horrible for no reason, just remain calm. Because when you are in control of your emotions, when you can prevent yourself from reacting, because I always used to get very angry. What do you mean? Yeah? But when you can learn, actually, I can see my boss is angry and ranting. I know it's unfair, and I know the points he is making are not valid, yeah? I know they're unfair and biased. There's something that I am doing that is triggering him, yeah? Maybe my work's too good for him, and he is feeling threatened by that. And so therefore he is ranting at me. So you can disassociate from that emotion, yeah? You know it's not got anything to do with you, it's to do with him. And therefore, you can just stand there. Okay. Yeah, because he's your boss, you probably have to reply. Yeah, okay, I'll try and do better next time. Yeah? And you can just detach from that emotion. Yeah? I mean, often we come across, so in situations where maybe, as I did a video yesterday, maybe if you're living with an addict, or you're living in an abusive situation, you can't address the person you're living with because you're walking on eggshells around them all the time. So you have that pent-up frustration. You have all those feelings inside of you of anger and chaos and just, this is all a nightmare. And very often you will be keeping all that to yourself. And then when another family member speaks to you and maybe just says something, just something small like, oh, I'm not sure you should do that, you can find yourself blowing up at them. But again, it's not because you really care so much about what they've said. It's because you have all that pent-up frustration and anger inside of you. So when you can learn to think from the conscious part of your mind, and you can recognize in others when they are working from their subconscious, it just can take a lot of the emotional attachment away from the situation. You can stand back and see situations for what they are, and it can help give you strength to deal with those situations in a much calmer way. Because actually being calm is a power, yeah? When we're angry and upset, we're not in control of ourselves. I've done a few shorts talking about narcissism because this is something I have had quite a lot of experience with. And the narcissist, they thrive off you getting emotional. This is a big win for them. Yes, because when you are in an emotional state, they know that they've got to you. They know that their words have riled you up, because they are just trying to cause you the chaos that they feel in their own minds. That is so often why these things are occurring. The narcissist isn't a happy person. The narcissist is usually a deeply disturbed, insecure person. But they're not going to tell you that. But they are going to try and cause chaos in your life. They are projecting their own chaos onto you. Another thing that people have to deal with is in relationships is you may have someone who uses silence as a weapon against you. This can be really, really damaging, because if this is something you are experiencing, you don't know why. You don't know why you're not being spoken to. And this silence can last from hours to days to weeks. Some people have weeks of not being spoken to, and they have no idea why. And they're begging and they're pleading with the person, why won't you speak to me? What have I done wrong? But again, it's that person is trying to project the chaos that is in their head, and they are causing you chaos, because when you are not spoken to, that is what happens to you. Chaos. You just don't know what's going on. Yeah? So when we can learn to understand our emotions and the emotions of others, that's not to say we forgive other people who are treating us badly. No one should be at the end of someone ranting or raging at them or not speaking to them for weeks. But it does just help when you understand the reason why. And when you understand that being calm and in control is always for your benefit. Okay, I will leave it there for now, but thank you so much for listening. Please do write in the comments if anything I said resonated with you. Maybe you have had similar experiences and you can let me know in the comments. And yeah, I love to hear from you. Please do press that like, press that subscribe, and don't forget we are finding that peace within. Oh, peace is such a wonderful thing, so we can send all our love out. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.